Joining us now for tonight's big close-up is Texas Congressman Chip Roy. Congressman, that sounds like a great idea to me, but tell us about your legislation, why it's necessary to not just stop illegal immigration, but to pause all immigration.
Yeah, great to be on. Happy Saturday to you all. And, thanks for showing the absurdity of Benny Thompson and what he said in referring to the murder of one of our brave soldiers here in the nation's capital, a few blocks from the White House, as an accident. Another still fighting for his life. This is what we're dealing with. This is the radical Democratic Party that are more interested in playing politics and trying to focus on protecting those who want to endanger Americans than standing with an administration and the President and Secretary Noem who want to secure Americans. So you asked me about the PAUSE Act. The fact of the matter is we have 51.5 million people in this country who are foreign born. That's about 16% of the population. That's higher than at any other point in our history. We need to stop the abuse of H-1B visas. We need to end birthright citizenship. We need to codify what the president has done. We need to stop having taxpayer funding of illegal alien children in our schools, as we do in Texas and everywhere else. And we've got to center our entire immigration system. So pause and let's fix it. I think we need that for the country. We did it in 1920. Our country was stronger for that for about 4 or 5 decades. And now for 50 years, we've been blowing the lid open and allowing people to come here, including radical Muslims, radical Islamists who want to undermine Western civilization and our way of life. It's time to pause it and fix it. And I think Senator Cruz was frustrated by that. I'm a co-sponsor of the House version of that bill. Senator Cruz is absolutely correct. President Trump has been doing a magnificent job pushing back on radical elements who want to come to the United States. I think Senator Cruz is absolutely correct to say that we need to designate them as terrorist organizations, just like, by the way, Governor Abbott just did in Texas, who also declared CARE a terrorist organization. And you know what? I introduced legislation to take away the tax status of CARE. We should pass Senator Cruz's bill. We should pass my bill to take the tax status away from CARE. We should pass my bill to vet people for Sharia law. We should pass the PAUSE Act to freeze immigration. All of this matters because you have a radical bunch of Islamists who want to remake America in a coordinated way, and you're seeing it unfold in Texas, where you've got Epic City in Plano, an Islamic center in Houston. You've got Dearborn, Michigan. You've got Minneapolis and what you're seeing happen there. You have Mamdani getting elected in New York, and all of these folks have ties to very radical organizations and elements, and we need to address it. And you start with the Muslim Brotherhood, which is the head of the snake. Well, what we've got here is a situation where the American people are feeling it, right? They can't afford the health care of their choice. Why? Because Democrats broke the system. And now the solution Democrats are offering is to print money in the Treasury, take those dollars, and to go put it in the pockets of the very insurance companies that have been enriching themselves for the last 15 years in crony coordination with despicable people in government who are profiting on the back of the misery of American people. We want to stand alongside the American people. They ought to keep the insurance that they've got. We ought to provide a freedom option so they can go get affordable care, go get direct primary care, have expansive health savings accounts, be able to go to health sharing ministries, be able to have all sorts of options so that the American people can choose what's best for them. We choose doctors and patients, not insurance bureaucrats or government bureaucrats. And now the administration wants to lead and go forward. We are rightly going to reject this enrichment of insurance companies. The president said it best. His instincts are great. He is leading in the right direction. Let's not give money to enrich insurance companies. Let's stand with the American people and empower them.
Welcome back, guys. What you are hearing in this segment is a message that is meant to sound urgent, blunt, and emotional. And Congressman Chip Roy clearly wants viewers to feel that the American system is broken and cannot be fixed with small changes. His overall reaction is rooted in the idea that the United States has reached a breaking point, especially on immigration, national security, healthcare, and political leadership. When Roy talks about the PAUSE Act, his main argument is that America needs to stop and reset. He believes immigration levels are too high and that the country has lost control of who is coming in and why. By pointing out that foreign-born residents now make up about 16% of the population, he is trying to show that today's situation is historically different. He compares it to the early 1900s claiming immigrants back then focused more on assimilation. His reaction reflects a belief that modern immigration policies encourage division instead of unity. Ending diversity visas, chain migration, and bright right citizenship, in his view, would force the system to prioritize national interest over global responsibility. Whether people agree or not, his tone suggests frustration with decades of political compromise that he believes failed. His comments about taxpayer funding for undocumented children in schools are especially controversial. Roy frames this as a fairness issue, arguing that American taxpayers are being asked to support a system that rewards illegal behavior. Supporters may see this as facial responsibility, while critics may see it as targeting children who had no choice in the matter. Still, his reaction is consistent. He believes government resources are limited and should go first to citizens and legal residents. The discussion about disgusting the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization takes the conversation into national security and ideology. Roy strongly supports Senator Ted Cruz's push on his issue, calling the group the head of the snake. His language is sharp and meant to draw a clear enemy line. From his perspective, radical Islam is not just a foreign problem but something that threatens American society from within. His personnel to remove the tax exempt status of care shows how serious he is about confronting organizations he believes are linked to extremist ideas. To sports, this comes across as bold and necessary. To critics, it risks painting bold group with one brush. But Roy's reaction leaves no doubt that he sees this as a fight for the country's identity and safety. When Roy defends former President Trump cabinet members, his tone shifts slightly to loyalty and resistance. He dismisses democratic impeachment efforts as political attacks rather than legitimate concerns. By praising figures like Charity Neome and Pete Hegseth, he is signaling confidence in Trump's era leadership and policies. His reaction suggests that he views Democrats are undermining national security and military strength for political gain. For viewers who distrust Washington politics, this defense reinforces a familiar narrative that strong leaders are being targeted for doing their jobs. On healthcare, Roy's reaction is rooted in opposition to Obamacare and government-driven solutions. He argues that extending subsidies only props up a broken system that benefits insurance companies more than patients. His focus on freedom of choice reflects a core Republican principle: less government control, more individual discussion making. He blames Democrats directly for the current mess, suggesting that regulation and mandates have driven up costs and reduced quality. Whether this resonates depends on personal experience, but his message is simple. The system is failing, and repeating old policies won't fix it. Perhaps the most striking moment is when Roy confirms he will not run for re-election to the House in 2026. Instead of sounding tired or defeated, his reaction is determined. He frames the discussion as a mission to save Texas. By listing threats like radical Islamists, Marxists, and criminals, he positions himself as a defender of traditional values and law and order. This language is clearly designed to energize a conservative base that feels undersized, cultural and political. He dismisses concerns about Republican retirements affecting midterm elections, suggesting that leadership matters more than numbers. Overall, Roy's reaction throughout the segment is consistent and deliberate. He presents America as a nation at risk, weakened by bad policies, weak enforcement, and ideological enemies. His solutions are dramatic, not incremental. Freeze immigration and birthright citizenship, label extremist groups clearly, dismantle Obamacare subsidies, and shift political battles to the state level. Even people who disagree with him can see that he is not trying to sound moderate or conscious. He is speaking to voters who want clear lines, strong action, and unapologetic leadership. The segment is less about detailed policy machines and more about emotion and direction. Roy wants viewers to feel urgency, frustration, and a need for radical correction. His words are meant to spark debate, not compromise. And whether one sees him as a problem solver or a provocateur, the message is clear. He believes the system is broken and fixing it requires courage, confrontation, and a complete reset rather than small political tweaks. Thanks for watching my video. I will see you in the next video.